The Wrestling is Real podcast because wrestling needs us. Brought to you by KingofAmazon.com. Go to KingofAmazon.com when you do your shopping for Amazon to help the King of Podcasts. Shop for Amazon at KingofAmazon.com.
Time now for your preview for the King of Podcasts for WrestleMania 36. Coming up this Saturday and Sunday from the WWE Network or pay-per-view, however you decide to go and spend your money on it. Episode 524 of the Wrestling is Real podcast. Thanks for making time. So get ready for the entire card that we have coming up for Saturday and Sunday. I think it's about 16 matches on the card. And listen, again, I've been grading on a curve for this program, and that's all I can do for this show. When I look at things, I'm just saying to myself, for everybody, and notice I noticed the tamping down of the criticism that's going on, because here's the thing. What you need to understand is, with WrestleMania going on right now, we might not have much else to go with afterwards. Okay? Wrestling might take some time off in terms of what WWE is going to do right now. They're considering it. And we should go and bring that up first before anything else. Because I think that's going to be of concern to people right now. Because, listen, we're going to enjoy ourselves with WrestleMania. We'll see what happens with it. Could there be a time where, I mean, with anything else, what else can you do with a sports season if it becomes increasingly tougher and tougher to keep going? Then you got to say to yourself, well, do we see a stoppage of real-time wrestling from WWE because of the fact that they're going to be stuck right now, and they could just say, okay, we're going to take a couple of months and we're going to just, not try to fill time, because the problem is with after WrestleMania, the interest of the product. If they're going to put out just some kind of random product, which is not going to pull a good rating. Just this past week on Monday, the rating got down to 1.9 overall, 1.6 for the third hour. So the rematches or the reruns they've been doing right now, if they're going to just continue the same format as they have been, without any build-up for any pay-per-view, because I don't think they could build any pay-per-view right now after WrestleMania. Maybe they could do some stuff after WrestleMania anyways, when they go do the Monday after. But really, what else can you do? At this point, you're at a tough spot. Do you run old content and just sit it out? So anyway, we got to talk about that first. Because before we get the actual card and, take it for what it's going to be, you got to ask ourselves what's going to happen. Well, a story from WrestlingNews.co gives some a little bit of clarity. Because of the state of Florida, here's what's going on. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, which is where I live in South Florida, announced Wednesday afternoon that he issued a stay-at-home order amid the coronavirus pandemic. The order is in effect Thursday, April 2nd, so it'll be in effect as you listen to this program. 30 days long. It will be difficult for WWE to continue holding TV tapings at Orlando at the Performance Center like they have been doing. So with that said, what's going to happen now? So with that news, Roosevelt tweeted out a report that states rumors last week that there could be taking a break from airing new content on the weekly TV shows after the Monday after WrestleMania, and should a stay-at-home order be issued, which has now been made official. So there might be a chance that some footage that had already been shot this past week might not be airing, and everything's to be determined. But we don't know what it's going to be yet. But there could very well be a point where that might happen. Now, one thing that's been also talked about with WrestleMania 36 is how it's being promoted. So with the sports issue, there's been some good and bad from this. For whatever reason, WWE is not promoting the network so much when it comes to WrestleMania 36 because they're trying to get people to buy full price like the old days of pay-per-view on the traditional channels. For whatever reason, they're trying to promote themselves through the Fox Now app, through Fight TV, and through other organizations, which is quite interesting. They're just saying to themselves, well, why not? It's really interesting how they're pulling that off. And so we look at what's going on here. Now, they're getting a lot of promotion as a result. ESPN promoted and put out 2 of the WrestleMania specials, 32 and 30, of which pulled 800,000 and 700,000 viewers, respectively. And WrestleMania 36 is going to debut. It's going to debut across Fox Sports platforms, and they're also featuring a full schedule of programming leading up to it. So ESPN and FS1 and Fox Sports are putting a lot of content to try to keep people engaged. So there will be 22 hours of timeless content to air on FS1. So FS1 is going to be chock full of it. So you have on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com, WrestleMania will be promoted, and it'll be airing on Saturday and Sunday. So you can have multiple places to watch it, and Fight TV, and the network, and other places. If you didn't know, you can watch WrestleMania on the Fox Sports app and Fox Now, $59 for both nights. It will also be on Fox, FS1 and Fox Deportes, their kickoff show, which will be parts 1 and 2 Saturday and Sunday, 6 to 7 Eastern. They're also going to then run, as I'm recording tonight, they offered the Royal Rumble of 2020, the entire show available to watch for free. Then you have 1-hour editions of WrestleMania 31, 33, 34, and other specials like the WWE 24 and Ruthless Aggression series are now being available on Fox Sports, which they were put on the WWE network. But now their partners are now asking for more programming, so they're coming in. Mark Silverman, who is president of National Networks for Fox Sports, he says, "We're pleased to offer this new slate of WWE programming for viewers during these challenging times. We hope this lineup serves as much-needed relief for fans. We appreciate the hard work and creativity of the teams on both sides of our long-term partnership with WWE." So sports fans are going to get subjected to this a lot. They've already been on the major sports channels, Fox Sports 1 and ESPN. They put this programming out there because there is no other sports. And so these sports outlets are beholden to give something that's real-time content. That is great news that I don't think people are talking about with WWE. That's really what's interesting. And there we go. I mean, they're really working hard to try to keep things out there. So again, they have programming Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday nights on Fox Sports. That's huge. What else can they do, right? I mean, when you're looking at sports, they are strapped for content. Unless you're just going to keep rerunning archive content, that's all they have. That's all they can do. Because all these sports are off season right now. They're no longer playing. And at this moment, with the way things are, we might not see, we could see, we haven't seen what's happened yet with the NBA and with Major League Baseball yet, or with the NHL. Because there is a talk about where the NBA might just suspend the whole season and it just might not get finished. Or the season will be cut short, the regular season for both NHL and NBA. And then at the most immediate time, they will then come back and play the playoffs. And they'll have to figure out from the bargaining agreements on how they're going to be able to do that. So that's what happens there. And as for everybody else, I mean, I don't know. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough to see what happens and what can be done here. But this is a nice opportunity to do promotion, and you're thinking a lot of people are going to be watching on TV. But what's interesting now as well, do we really want to, well, the word I've heard recently, because people are talking about what's going on with the coronavirus coverage. I'm not going to get into the news or politics, but the word I've heard is adjudicate, which is basically playing like Monday morning quarterback, like after the fact. For all that WWE has done to continue programming online, to give us something to watch on Raw and SmackDown leading up to WrestleMania, and to give us WrestleMania after everything that was going on, when people are saying, how are you going to do this? With everything that's going on, how are you able to make this happen? Well, both AEW and WWE have become TV shows doing TV set shows with empty arenas. and only talent from within the company that might be outside watching the matches, and that's about it. But very sparse of anything going on. That's what AEW did. What WWE did, they had empty arenas with the seats out there, and then they got rid of the seats and changed their whole setup to make it just look like, okay, here's just a showcase, here we got. But look, for what they've done, let me break it down to you. The wrestling was fine. I really wasn't disappointed by any of the real-time matches they gave us. The promos were very good. Like a lot of people were really praising on Monday night because you heard Undertaker kick things off. Great promo to start off. Edge, Randy Orton doing his last week was great. Edge, was tremendous this week. Paul Heyman doing it very subtle, given the way the crowd is. No crowd was fantastic. Okay? Some of the stuff I saw for Drew McIntyre, which I wish would have gotten on TV, him doing the whole Rocky in Ireland training for Brock Lesnar, that should have been on regular TV, but we just saw some pretty good stuff. I think the promos really helped out a lot. I think just working on that and not putting us so much on angles actually helped a lot. And I think one thing that people really enjoyed out of what WWE did, especially with Raw, was like, let's get some good, personal, intimate promos and let them be done. And also, remember, you have guys that are just the best in the business, been doing it for a long time. Undertaker cutting a good promo, that should be a given. Kevin Owens, another great promo, right? You just saw some of the better promo cutters in the company putting out great promos in anticipation of their matches. And that was good. Becky Lynch, pretty good promo. Shayna Baszler, pretty good promo. There were things like that just worked out really well. And I could appreciate what they did, what they were able to do. And so that was good. In terms of rerunning matches, it's going to turn people away. Like, that was an obvious channel changer for me. I mean, the first time they did it with the Royal Rumble match, yeah, I stuck around and kept it on in the background, but John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and seeing Asuka, Charlotte Flair again, and watching Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, just some of those matches, wasn't interested in watching again. There's a reason for it, and they needed to fill time. That's why they did it. So I can't knock them for that, but, even with the fact that you didn't have sports to go and flip to, I think people would have still flipped to the news. Or they might have flipped all together and said, you know what, I'm not going to wait for new programming to come back, or I'm not going to wait a full hour or half an hour for Raw to come back and do something live. I'm just going to flip away. I'll catch it on the line later, something like that. And so some people could have done that, and that's okay, but it's what they had to do. And they experimented. When they are backs against the wall, once again, this company can pull some magic out of the hat. Now, they are trying to do some different things to try to keep things engaging. One of the things they're trying as well, which has been leaked out there, was the idea of having live fans watching the matches as they were happening, giving them real time. So this was reported by Paul Davis at WrestlingNews.co that there were ideas that were pitched to Vince McMahon to make the empty arena shows more exciting. And one was the idea of piping and crowd noise was brought up. And Vince did not give them a thumbs down. Ideas down off the table. I know Jerry Lawler mentioned that before in a previous interview. We talked about that. And there was a fan council survey that went out in the last 24 hours indicating, and this was actually May 28th the story came out, so a few days ago, over the weekend. It indicated that WWE is also considering adding reactions from fans watching from home, and that the broadcast will be on the middle of the screen with smaller boxes around the screen showing fans live streaming from home. So this survey started out with the following. They said they were looking at new options for the way that they present show segments within this current environment. They could see and hear feedback from superstars, celebrities, and sports figures or fans during a show. This is what ESPN has done for their super telecasts. When they've done multiple casts of, say, the national championship for college football, or if they've done it for an NFL football game. I mean, they've done it for a few things, but they actually especially done it for college football. It's been one of their things especially. So they would have versions where you would hear on one ESPN channel the radio coverage from one team or the other, or you would hear a coach's roundtable watching the game, or you would see sideline announcers calling the game, or you would have the control room and you would watch the game. Like you'd have 6 different versions of how to watch the same sport on 6 different channels. So the thing is, one of these ideas would be, okay, can we get feedback, something that would be going on, some real-time commentary that is not the announcers. So then they showed videos of how parts or show segments might look if fans were shown on screen providing feedback. So they did some testing of this to give people an example of what it would look like. The survey asks if fans would be interested in watching reactions from legends, fans, sports figures, superstars, and all the mix. And the survey would find out if fans are affected by the coronavirus, if their spending habits have changed. So there was one of the fan counts where they showed like a full barrage of people watching the matches and all these different reactions. Would you watch wrestling like this? I wouldn't. And of course, that's my opinion. I'm not so much about that when I see all that's going on here. So, you know, it is what it is. But it's what they're trying to do. What can he figure out to do to make things more interesting? Now, for the show itself, it still looks as slick as it normally does. Like the way they made the Performance Center look has looked fantastic. For them to be able to do and put a Performance Center like they normally do and create basically something a little bit more spiffy than the NXT arena is good. Like he did something that's much more flashier than Full Sail. I mean, for them to be able to have done that, I'll tell you what, I think what they could definitely do is, do we need to have, you know, once we get crowds back, do we need to have the big, large crowds again? But then again, I don't know if they would do that. Like, I mean, these intimate shows, I think, would be good to start seeing from WWE, you know, in the future. Like, I think if you have the Performance Center, you could have some other matches going on. Maybe some wrestlers that are coming back that are, you know, whatever reason you have them back at the Performance Center for some reason or whatnot. You know, you have some like squash matches are being done for, like, I don't know, you could do something where you could do more at the Performance Center. I'm actually surprised that NXT doesn't run from there. But of course, they have to deal with Full Sail, so they can do that. But I think the Performance Center deal that they have right now, it looks great for television. They should utilize that still for something. I'm not sure what it would be. Maybe they bring back Tough Enough or something like that. I mean, they should go ahead and use that setup again for whatever reason. I like the way it looks. So I think they should keep that in mind, that they're able to put that production together and make it look fantastic. And it looks good on TV. But we are so programmed, like we, you know, for some of us that are old enough to watch sitcoms, you know, comedy shows on TV, if you don't know what those are, watch them with a laugh track. Well, do you have to have an audience track to kind of keep things up? Like, would it help? And that's true. It'd be tough to kind of do that. Like, do you have to have that? Is it really much of a trigger to do that? Because he really never gave us full 3-hour programs of all different wrestling and stuff like that. We never got that. But I think they could have been more creative at doing some of the things that could have really made this whole show look better and much more interesting to watch. I mean, I know AEW did, but I think that was a little bit out of the purview. The creativity going on right now is limited because of what Vince McMahon is allowing to do. He's just trying to get to point A to point B, and he's trying to do it with as little needed to be done as possible, with as little change as possible to the product. That's what he's done. And I cannot discredit him for thinking that way, because they wanted to try to keep the show as much as what people are familiar with, than making any real wholesale changes that are going to really scare people and say, like, I'm not going to watch the show. It doesn't feel the same. Like, they had to put something that kind of had a semblance of what everybody's used to, which they did. And they've been able to go and successfully put shows together. And for a while, it worked. Their ratings did go up in this initial look. But, I mean, some people just felt like, okay, you get to a routine again. That's the other problem. So you're booking the show differently, and then you're running out of archive content to run that would be good, not just because it's relevant. Okay. They ran all the archive content they did because of relevance, right? So the thing is, to just rerun the matches without anything else to go on with it is tough. I think they could have done something where they could have featured, they didn't have to feature the entire match, but of course they're filling 3 hours. So what are you going to do? Are you going to fight with Vince to try to create content that's worthy of being on the air that's just going to keep getting shut down? Or are you going to just take the easy way out and say, you know what, we need to fill 2 hours of time, 3 hours of time. Let's just run the whole matches. That's what turned people away. You could have done some of that, but really couldn't do so much of that. I don't mean you have to repurpose it all together and repackage it. I think you could just cut it down. I mean, put it like this. Impact Wrestling does their Impact flashback of the week. And they usually put now, they used to make it a little bit longer, but now it's 4 or 5 minutes. The Impact Plus flashback of the week, they would just run something that comes from Impact Plus so people can watch it. And it's a nice little blurb, but it's not too much. And it doesn't take away from the program. I think it's just a little thing they have right there. Even with the, sometimes when you'd see SmackDown, what's so interesting was because of the way they did things over there, you would actually have, or was it NXT? I forget which show it was in the UK, where they would actually run a match from a previous time, just some kind of a flashback match in a certain segment. They would just put that in instead. I think you could have done that here. You could have done something to kind of keep this together, but, have John Cena, Bray Wyatt. Yes, there is context that goes into the new match, which actually helps to build the storyline. But to run the whole damn match was too much. And I think people got a little bit up to that. Plus, on top of that, you're taking people away from watching the network because some people on the network would probably go back to watch certain matches. You're not promoting the network by doing this. You're just running the matches back. You're not even promoting them. First of all, they weren't even promoting the matches they were going to run in the first place. And then they did. So we'd see that. And, there's no luster of seeing the matches for free. So they were in a tough spot. And there's not much else that can be said about that part. But it's what they did. And again, we're grading on a curve. What else would you expect this company to do? I mean, also the other thing too is really in this situation, for anybody doing anything in entertainment or news or information, look, everybody right now on television is makeshifting. The only ones that are not are podcasters and YouTubers. We're doing the same thing we've been doing for a long time because it's what we do all the time. And it's through online and we don't have to do anything else special. We might be doing more content as a matter of fact. And that's to overcompensate for what might not be good on regular television. Or, if you're going to consume Netflix or other things going on, you're going to run out of stuff after a while. I think some people binge watching. Are you going to just keep watching stuff until you watch something that's just now mediocre as you normally wouldn't binge watch now? And you're just doing it just for the hell of it? You ask yourself the question. So for us, for people like me, podcasting, YouTubing, this is, whatever. I'm putting out content like I always do. So that's no big deal. But for the behemoths that put out quality, high-scale, slick programming, I watched some of the late-night stuff to see Conan O'Brien doing the show from his porch, or Jimmy Fallon from his living room, or Stephen Colbert from his bathtub. Is that really doing anything special? You could tell without the writers, without the extra accoutrements, those shows don't have much to it. If they're not flashy in a suit, they're not doing their normal stuff. When they're just slumming it, people are not that interested, and they're not that funny. So when you ask yourself, the effort that WWE has done to keep themselves looking as they always do, having the wrestlers still there, still putting out quality content, trying to do what they can to keep an semblance of what people are familiar with. When there is no other sports to watch and all the entertainment is getting watered down because you could tell without the flashiness, some of those shows are not that good. So this is why you have to grade on a curve here. You have to give Now, AEW gets a lot of credit, but WWE has to get a lot of credit too. Because of the fact that people are complaining about the matches and how they're going to just keep doing the show and how it's going to turn out, I think I'm going to have better expectations about this. I'm not excited for WrestleMania because I have not been so much, but this time around, I feel good about some of the matches. I think you do have a lot of veterans on this pay-per-view, and no matter what, they're going to hold things up to make some of these matches really good. And again, it's the same problem we can always talk about. All the part-timers now holding belts, and could they be holding belts after this is said and done? Like, that's the other thing you got to consider. Because at this moment, you know, we're not worried about the regular roster coming out all the time to do matches and stuff. Like, it's not all hands on deck for these shows. So if they wanted to go ahead and really, you know, the pricing for like a Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, can they really command the kind of money they want right now in this situation? So could you ask yourself, if you're taping shows ahead of time, this is the thing that you got to consider too. For the time being, WWE for this last couple of weeks, they're doing what the other shows are doing. Okay, what AEW does is still a live format, but look at the other programs, MLW, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, right? NWA, they all do their shows in advance. They record tapings, and they record four shows in the can. And that's what WWE did. But they were recording even more shows because they had more time to cover. They don't have an hour, 2-hour show. They got 5 hours. Let's be 6 hours of programming they're trying to cover with NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. Man, that's a yeoman's part of work. So they have to do something to fill some time. So I don't see why they don't do what they did. Like, they had to cut some corners. There's a lot of time to fill. Other shows like AEW, they got Dark and Dynamite. And even Dark didn't do an hour long. They did 35 minutes. And that's fine, because they can do that. They're not beholden to any contract deal yet on the television side where they have to put on an hour-long show yet, or a 2-hour-long show on top of Dynamite. We don't know that yet. But the 2-hour commitment, AEW is able to do, and they can still record some matches and dark matches to run later. And they've been able to do that successfully. And they can do it week to week. So they're not worried so much about it. And when it comes to their pay-per-view, they don't have to worry about that till May 23rd. So they got time to do what they need to do. And they're doing a very good job of recording content outside of their area. Like Jericho doing stuff from his house. Same thing for the Young Bucks. They're doing stuff outside. They're still doing outdoor exterior stuff. The Dark Order had stuff. I still got to rewatch the Brody Lee thing, which also, again, him playing Vince McMahon is hilarious. But that's beside the point. Got to say to yourself is, AEW is still finding ways to be creative, get themselves outside of the ring, but they're, again, committed to 2 hours. But WWE had to do 6 hours of programming, and they had to do it in a style they haven't done it since, 1994? No. Raw they used to do before, the 90s used to be taped. But nothing like this. Not like Superstars or All-American Wrestling and what they used to do, or Primetime Wrestling back in the day. They had done this type of taping schedule since the 80s. They're doing that now when they haven't done it in a long time. And they're also doing things like Impact Wrestling used to do, or TNA, where you used to go ahead and they would record out of order. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. But hey, it's up to them if they want to do that. But really, when you look at what they're doing, for them to make shift to be able to do what they're able to do, man, I cannot bash this company that much. Not after what they've done for us. I think as fans, I'm going to be more on the grateful side. If we're getting a lackluster WrestleMania like we always do, that's fine with me. At this point, I'm happy with that. I'd rather have that. I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, everybody else can go ahead and they can still nitpick and all, and that's fine. It's just, it's the nature of wrestling Twitter and the wrestling universe, the internet wrestling community. Yes, you're all going to do that. So we got that part. Now, let's talk about the other elephant in the room that we keep hearing about WrestleMania 36. Roman Reigns. Triple H was on Ariel Helwani's ESPN MMA show to talk about WrestleMania and everything that WWE has been doing in recent weeks in an effort to keep shows going for fans. And Helwani asked him how close they were to canceling WrestleMania. Triple H said this, quote, "It's really hard to answer that. I think, like everybody, we were sort of kind of going through the minute by minute of what was happening. It's amazing how quickly all this happened. On Wednesday, March 11th, we were doing an event at the Performance Center in Orlando that actually had fans. I had mentioned events the day before and said maybe we should leave some of this stuff up just in case, because it just seems like things are going in a weird direction very quickly. Within 24 hours, everything was shutting down. Like everything, we're playing it by ear." He said that they're able to put on shows in the safest way possible and that they are obligated to continue with shows. He also said, Trips said, quote, "We feel like it's an obligation for us. Our fans have been there for us for years and years and years. We want to be there for them. And this time where everybody's doing their best to just get through this get kind of stuck at home, and the world needs entertainment right now. We feel sort of an obligation to give them that." So he says they're trying to do their best to make WrestleMania a spectacle. He hopes to put smiles on people's faces. He acknowledged it'll be a difficult situation without the Performance Center. So Trips was also asked about his thoughts, Hunter, on the critics who say they should not be running shows right now. Hunter said believes that WWE is an essential service for fans, and he compared the shows to the Rocky movies because WWE's contract is evergreen, so they're able to provide older shows to networks like ESPN to fill time slots. They're working with the government officials and wrestlers that are being screened, and noted that anyone who is uncomfortable is free not to work, and they're keeping people as separate as possible. Thus, the question was being asked about Roman Reigns being pulled out from the show while WWE continues with their storylines as if he is still on the show. We talked about that last week, but we still see him promoted in the Goldberg versus Roman Reigns match. So Triple H said, quote, "It's a funny thing. I think you can watch our business in multiple different ways, and one of them is the storyline aspect of it. Another is the online component of it and the reality of it behind it. Roman has this situation, has reasons for doing the things that he's doing. I will say from our standpoint and the storyline standpoint, it's going to play out in a unique manner, and we want it to play out that way." So something's going to happen there. We don't know what it is yet. But again, we have no spoilers. So this is still going to be all new to us when we all watch this. He also added, Hunter said, quote, "I don't want to give away the ending of the movie just before the movie takes place. So I just think everybody just has to watch and kind of see how this unfolds, but it will unfold in a unique way, and I think it will be meaningful. There will always be critics, and we're doing the best we can. It's our mission to put smiles on people's faces." Okay? And that's what we're trying to do in this time when people need to have those smiles. It might not be the perfect product, but it is a product, and it is what it is now, and we're trying to put those smiles on faces. It's done with the best of intent. Reigns being pulled out of the show will probably be addressed this Friday night on SmackDown. Look, man, I have to come in here, and I don't normally would do this because obviously I've been very critical of WWE since I started the show. But in this case, this is where I can't go after them like I normally do. Number one, because I don't feel like it. I don't want to be one of those people that's extra critical in a time like this. No. I don't get like that. When we're in a situation like this, I don't see how we can just be more than grateful. And number two, I already expect this company to kind of give us mediocre programming in the first place. So I'd rather just keep my expectations where they normally are and have them exceed them. Because everybody that has a WrestleMania mindset that feels like, well, WrestleMania season has to have the excitement and it's got to be that moment. Well, we're not getting that this year. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get something that will be really special. But I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to be able to do that. But it's something to be said. Like, let's give it a shot anyway. Let's see what they're able to do. Like, I'd rather give them a chance than not. That's in my personal opinion. There is some news coming out from WrestlingNews.co, which I normally always report from. They are doing some live content. So here's what's going on. Now, I want to also ask if there's any surprises in store for fans coming up this weekend. Triple H did not say much, but did say fans might be shocked to see what Rob Gronkowski does on the show. And that some of the parts of the show will be live along with the matches that have already been taped. So Hunter says, I think he's going to do some really cool stuff that people will be shocked that he actually does. I think that the event itself will be spectacular while obviously not in a stadium with 70,000, 80,000 people. So he did not give details on how WrestleMania will look, but it sounds like the production will be more elaborate than what we've been seeing in recent weeks. He says it looks spectacular. The look and the feel will be phenomenal. Talent really stepped up to bring the energy and the excitement, knowing how important this was. There's a lot of things that will take place, both live and tape, that will be taking place from alternative locations. That's the other thing you got to remember. We don't even know where we're going to haul these matches at. And also remember, we're getting matches that are going to definitely be different. We're going to get the Firefly Funhouse match and the Boneyard match. Those are going to be two-stage matches from different locales. I don't even know what that's going to be. But I'm curious as to what they're going to pull off. And we don't know what they've done yet, right? But I'm curious. Like, I don't know if they have access to a sound stage, or they could have gotten themselves over to Universal Studios or Disney to come and shoot some content. I can see them doing that, right? Take their camera somewhere. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But maybe they got themselves to a sound stage. Maybe Fox might have offered them a sound stage to work some stuff to do a match. We don't know. But it'd be nice to see. The Boneyard match looks like it's going to be a graveyard match from what we all expect, but yeah, it'll be interesting. So they could surprise us. This is WrestleMania. This is not a Raw where they're going to do like a match where they did with the Wyatt family and the New Day to compete with Delete and Decay, or the Final Deletion, right? We're not going to get something like that. This is WrestleMania, guys. Like, I know they gave us the match with the maggots and all that, but damn, bro, they're going to have to come up with something good here. I can see those two matches standing out a lot. The Last Man Standing match also standing out a lot. Just saying. They got a couple of Stips matches. Some of the other matches they're going to have are just regular matches live. It's going to be kind of tough, but, you know. Just have to see what they're going to do. So some parts are going to be live. They're going to try, man. Listen, at least one thing we're going to say about this, it's going to be interesting. And also, doing this over 2 nights, that does make it feel special. Them doing that, I thought, was actually pretty smart. What else are you going to do? I mean, it doesn't make sense for them to do their normal stuff and do it for 6 hours. If they could put some stuff in the can, I don't mind that so much, as a matter of fact. I think that's not a bad idea. So, you know, I want to give it some time, and I want to see where they're going to go with things. I'd like to see how this turns out, and if it turns out well. So I'm going to go ahead and preview and predict the WrestleMania 36 card in just a moment. And we'll just go by match and kind of give some comments and see what we think about what's going to go on. But first of all, I got to go ahead and talk a little bit about myself. And the fact that I have a little less revenue coming in to King of Podcasts here into the studios, because my normal hustle that I normally have, being able to go out and do stuff, you know, if I want to do my Uber or things like that, or do some other projects, I'm limited on those right now. And so I'm really asking for your help on a few different runs. Now, I don't expect a donation. Listen, please donate to first responders, to people that are doing the coronavirus effort, by all means. What I'm asking of you is to help out in a different way. So I don't promote this too much on the air, but I'm going to do this now because people are actually kind of doing this right now and, you know, making some good sense of helping out with the show. KingofAmazon.com. You know what that is. KingofAmazon.com. That is my personal link to Amazon, which I know people like you are going to right now and are especially going out and getting your hands on some good stuff. So I buy simple things. I'll buy like Tic Tacs and Mentos gum and things like that. A lot of things you can go and buy right now, especially to get it just delivered to your house You know, Amazon has a great reputation. You see those little blue trucks right now these days? They're out and about still working hard, and they're doing what they got to do. So right now, if you want to go and order a Kindle, you can do that. If you want to, find other products that you need, do some grocery shopping, you could definitely do grocery shopping there. They got a pantry for it, and most items are there. They also got, perishable items. So like if you want to get, anything in a supermarket, you can get it from them and they'll get it for you. And it's great stuff. Actually, I just bought recently a bath robe, or it's a house robe. One of those things like, so you see some guys wearing with like, with a cigar pipe, whatever. You always see that kind of look. So I bought me a house robe. One of those that you put like a bathrobe kind of thing with a little thing. So I found one that fits like a shirt. It's got like a jersey type feel to it. So like some of the bed sheets are like that. A jersey style bedrobe, big and tall. And I bought one that's 5X66. I mean, I bought one that's oversized for me. These days I can fit in 3X, 4X now. Probably comfortably. I've lost some weight still. Lost some more weight since the last time. So I do that. And I now use that for the house so that if I'm going to sit around at home all day, I'm not going to be just sitting around, wearing nothing. I'll have the house robe on. At least I'll be somewhat presentable around the house. I figured, let me go and buy that. I'm going to be home a lot. Let me just not throw on some new clothes. Just, put that on and just slum around a little bit. All I got to do is make sure my mind is at the work. That's what's more important than anything else. So I got that. You want to order for Amazon Prime and watch all their videos and stuff. They got the Aeronauts now. You want to watch new stuff? They got the new Dua Lipa album, Featured Nostalgia, that's available. You want to get more coverage from Wi-Fi? You can use their product called Eero, which will give you a chance to put out multiple spots, extenders for Wi-Fi, so that you can have Wi-Fi around your house anywhere you need it. And especially with the coronavirus, they're doing a lot of things when it comes to getting you the items that you need, that you got to have. So they're delivering packages as they can, and they're doing a good job. Listen, you need toilet paper? They actually been able to have toilet paper online, so you can go ahead and grab it. If I look for it right now, it's available. Now, you do have to buy in bulk, but you can buy in bulk. Like right now, you got 50. You can buy like 80 rolls in a case for $50. Georgia Pacific. It might be the brand that is like, it's the bulk style, and a lot of people are buying it. Like there's a compact. They do the commercial bathrooms, but then you could buy their toilet paper, 1,500 sheets a roll, 18 rolls in a case, $54 right now. And that's down half the price of normally. It's $3 a roll, and was normally $100. Now they also, I just saw this too, Scott Comfort Plus, 24 rolls, 6 mega rolls of 4 packs of toilet paper. They now have it normally $26.99. Now it's $9.99. They still have it in stock. How about that? So if you keep looking, they actually have toilet paper available in stock. It's getting restocked now. Hand sanitizer. I know people are looking for that. Well, they got some that is available. You can start looking for it now. They have their own brands. You can actually buy a hand sanitizer, buy their own brand of hand sanitizer, and start looking for it in stock. Now, there might not be much out there at the moment, but they're getting it, and they're getting some available. You can actually go get some, which is really great. Like right now, I'm looking at a company called EG doing refreshing hand sanitizer gel. They have a 3-pack of the travel bottles. And right now you can get those 3 travel bottles for $6.99. Wow. That's really good. Or you can buy one big bottle, 300 milliliter bottle for $17.99 and $3.99 for shipping. But again, they don't have it from the Amazon Prime, but they're getting hand sanitizer. They're finding it from different suppliers, and they're getting it to you. So now you can go get hand sanitizer, and you can get your hands on toilet paper. If you want to buy stuff for electronics, stuff for the home, you want to buy some new headphones, you want to buy a new TV, a new computer, whatever you need, Wi-Fi stuff for the house. Think about it. Because now you don't want to take the risk. If you don't want to take the risk of going outside, I understand it. You don't want to go outside and go order food. I understand that too. So please take advantage of Amazon. Go through kingofamazon.com, because that way you're going to Amazon through my special link and you're buying from there, because in every sale that comes in through that, I'll make commission on that. I'll actually make a sale off of what you buy. So that's the one thing. I'm actually playing salesperson for Amazon right here through kingofamazon.com. So help yours truly, King of Podcasts. Please consider helping me out going to my website for Amazon, kingofamazon.com. I'd really appreciate that, and I hope you'll consider it. Now, if you do want to donate and help to the cause, you know, if there's something I could do to go ahead and make it where I could either give you a shout out on the air, if you'd like to be on for an episode of the Wrestling Gizmo podcast as a guest, you know, I'll take it for, I don't want to do that. Well, if you want to be on, just go ahead and hit me up, kingofpodcasts@yahoo.com, kingofpodcasts@yahoo.com. You can do that. If you want to donate, I don't like asking for money straight up, but if you want to, I do have a PayPal, paypal.me/kingofpodcasts. Cash App is King of All Podcasts. If you want to do that, we can do that too. And if you want to go and give it out for donation, to give it to charity, I can do that too, you know? Or I could do something where I can give away some prize to anybody out here to listen to the show, and maybe we can do something like that. But I'd like to keep that all in mind. So, again, kingofamazon.com. Please do, if you're going to buy from Amazon, because I know you're going to do it. If you buy from Amazon, remember, bookmark it on your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever. Make sure to go kingofamazon.com. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and run down the card. Like I said, this episode of Wrestling Gizmo Podcast is long enough to fill 1 hour. That's all we're doing is 1 hour of this show. Everybody else can do the long, overdrawn previews of these shows, and that's fine. Good on you. So let's go through the matches themselves. All right, let's start from the bottom to the top. Let's start with Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler should be a match they put on a different show, but, I mean, they have been building this out for a little bit. There's kind of a story to it that's been going on, you know, going back to January. So, like, for them to put a match together, I just hope it's not more than like a 6-7 minute match. I don't even know if they're doing a pre-show or not. But Otis versus Dolph Ziggler should be a pre-show match. But who knows? Listen, this is a match you put in between some championship matches. This is just like a little buffer match that you put in. And I think Otis gets the win. Even though he might not get the girl. I don't know if Mandy Rose gets involved in this or not. I mean, I know on Friday she made mention she don't want to be fought over. And that she wants this whole thing to be done by this match. And like, let's just resolve this. So, I think what happens is Dolph Ziggler is going to do something wrong to Mandy Rose, and then Mandy Rose is going to run off with Otis, and Otis will get the dream storybook ending of that, and will win the match, get the girl. You know? Win the feud, get the girl. That's what we want for Otis. If they give us that, that'll be actually pretty nice. Women's tag team titles, Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa and Nikki Cross. Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I just don't care about this match. Kabuki Warriors over. We're not even going to talk about it. There's nothing behind this match. Doesn't make much of a difference. Now, originally, ladder match was going to be Miz and Morrison, Usos, New Day. But as far as I know, Miz is no longer on the show. So it's supposed to be Morrison. I don't know which Uso, which New Day. Does it make a difference? I say John Morrison. Whatever. I think John Morrison as a single star might be the most beneficial of it. Or they can let Kofi be in the match and Kofi can win. It doesn't make a difference to me. Now, what I would like to see for the Intercontinental title match, look, we know the way they've been booking Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. But let's be honest here, right? If I'm right, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm going to just double check myself because I am not that much of the aficionado of Ring of Honor Wrestling going back past 2013. Now, El Generico and Bryan Danielson did wrestle each other back in the day. They did have matches. And they had a match October 28, 2007. And this was with the PWG WXW European Vacation card. They mentioned during the match that they said the match was really great. People gave it 4.5 stars, 5 stars on the whole thing. And Interesting. But is that the last time they actually had it? I guess. Did they have other matches? Oh, they did. They actually wrestled 3 times. The last time they wrestled each other. Now, have they wrestled in... That's another good question. Have they wrestled each other in WWE? I'm pretty sure they have in some way, shape, or form. I just don't remember when. I'm looking it up right now. Versus Sami Zayn. Yeah, they must have wrestled each other some way or another. I can't see if they actually... Actually, no, they have. But I think Daniel Bryan was up in a tag match against him and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I forget if they actually wrestled each other one-on-one. Oh, no, they have. Maybe they have. I'm not sure. Either which way, it is what it is. So, back over to this. The last time that Bryan Danielson and El Generico fought each other was July 2nd, 2009. If we get something like the matches those two used to get back in the day, that I think is what needs to happen. I think Triple H and the team over there, they need to let Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn really just go at it. Like, these guys are just two vets, 2 Ring of Honor vets that could just run each other to the ground and really do a great match. The Sami Zayn Daniel Bryan match should be an opening match for one of the first nights. I'm guessing because it's a SmackDown, and if we're going to do SmackDown matches on Sundays and Raw matches on Saturdays, then let this be the curtain jerker on Sunday night. Your first match, kicking it off, like, that'll be a hell of a barn burner of a match to start off with. And give those guys 20, 30 minutes. Like, let them go at it. And with that said, I would give Daniel Bryan the win as a new Intercontinental Champion. I would like that. Because I don't see Sami Zayn more than a transitional champion anyway. King Corbin Elias, they shot a very interesting angle on SmackDown with Elias getting kicked off the balcony. So that was interesting. It was something to kind of build things up. And obviously King Corbin Elias, the build with the Gronkowski bit was kind of set up. So they've done a little bit of build. Nothing more than a regular pay-per-view match, but I'll say Corbin wins over Elias because Elias is not going to come out of this really well. I don't see him winning. I think King Corbin is still going to be kept strong. They're going to give him a win once again. Another win at WrestleMania. Aleister Black, Bobby Lashley. We haven't seen much of this at all because I don't think we have seen Bobby Lashley as of late, right? They're just putting this match together. And Aleister Black probably gets the win. I would like to see Bobby Lashley get some time, but I think after this whole thing with him and Lana, you know, whatever plans they have with Bobby Lashley are just kind of they didn't do anything with him. He's just not been important. I don't know why he's been left out, but they've done a bad job with Bobby Lashley in the first place. I wish he was somewhere else because the guy is served better being somewhere else than WWE. Because again, a guy that's this size, this big, that's done better work in other companies, to be here, I mean, look at what's going on with Jake Hager. He's looking better right now. He's going to take on the world champion in 2 weeks, Moxley, at AEW. And at least his promo was halfway decent. And the same thing, honestly, you got MVP back in the company. MVP wants to be an agent for somebody. He wants to be an advocate. Then, damn, get Bobby Lashley with MVP again. That's a given. Like, if you want, make her Aleister Black loses the match and Bobby Lashley wins at the hands of MVP coming in to interfere. And then MVP becoming the new advocate. And then you just build a storyline with Bobby Lashley and Aleister Black. I'd like that. I don't know if they're going to do it. But if they're going to use MVP and they've had him around, and he's working with them now, then why not? Let him be an advocate. I think that would be there's already a tracker with these guys. Let them do it, man. The Beatdown Clan. I'd like to see that return. No Kenny King. Kenny King is still where he's at Ring of Honor. Anyways. Street Profits, Raw Tag Team titles on the line, defending against Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Now, according to what I was reading about, there was some word that, didn't they say something that they thought that Montez Ford might have, that the bump that he took might have been severe and he might not be able to wrestle coming up, but we don't know. So, no word of how he's feeling, according to WrestlingNews.co, but they said, indicated, it looks like he might have broken his back. Could be exaggerating, but it would not be surprised if he's still hurting. This is also done several days after the show was taped. Brian Alvarez explained what happened and that he was not supposed to take that bump. And Brian Alvarez explained like this. Here's what happened. Quote, Montez was making this big comeback and he hits the ropes. And Seth tries to grab his foot, but Montez just keeps running. Alvarez kept the part where Ford did a flip dive and crashed hard on the floor and it looked like Austin Theory was supposed to catch him. This is not what happened. So Alvarez continued. He says, and I'm going to do it like Brian Alvarez. So as it turns out, apparently what happened was when Montez hit the ropes, Seth was supposed to trip him. Okay? Now, granted, Seth was a little bit late, but he wasn't that late. And he actually did get a hold of Montez's foot. Now, when Montez started running, he realized that Seth was too far away. And in his mind thought, there's no way that this guy's going to get to me. I just got to keep running. But Seth is actually very athletic and fast, and he did get to him. But one way or the other, Montez apparently had it in his mind that, I got to do this dive. I didn't get tripped. So he ran. He did just an unplanned flip dive over the top. Austin Theory didn't know it was coming, so Austin Theory just looks up, and here comes this guy, and Montez crashes and nearly kills himself. And Theory, I don't know if maybe, I don't know what was in anybody's mind, but maybe Theory thought, oh, dude, maybe I was supposed to catch him and I forgot. I watch a lot of the Wrestling Observer clips. What can I say? That's my Brian Alvarez impression. You know. Wrestling Observer Live, WrestlingObserver.com, you know, whatever. Anyway, back to the matches. So I'm going to guess Street Profits are going to go on. And I will admit, listen, Austin Theory is a protege. He's a prospect. He's going to be, they can make something with him. He's a small guy, but I like the team of Angel Garza and Austin Theory together. I actually like that. But I think Street Profits hold on to the tag team titles. There's not much more reason to it. What a depleted tag team division. No Gallows and Anderson in the match. No Viking Raiders. No Authors of Pain. No. This is the match we're giving for the tag team titles. Oof. That's where we are. Wow. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. So they built this match interesting. These guys shouldn't have a bad match together. Kevin Steen and Tyler Black. Also, Ring of Honor guys. A lot of veterans in these matches. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. I mean, if they're allowed to give some freedom on what they're going to do with this match, if they could do a little something more, especially with no crowd, I think that really works out for this. And I like to see Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins really turn this up. These guys know each other for a long time. They should be able to put a good match together. I hope they do. I'd like to see how that works out. Now we're moving into the matches I'm actually kind of interested in, that I think I'm going to look forward to coming up. We get through one other match I really don't care for, and it's unfortunate, but this is what it is. Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title in an elimination match versus Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. I would rather see Lacey Evans or Naomi win, but I think maybe there's some interest. Like, look, if you're going to see the match come out, I think Bayley. Well, here's what I think is going to happen. This is what should happen. Bayley will lose at some point during this elimination match. And I think Naomi, Lacey Evans, and Sasha Banks are left. And I think we're going to get the Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks at the end of the night. And I think Sasha Banks wins the belt. So Bayley will have contention, and she'll be contentious with Sasha Banks being put into the match, creating some friction there. And then Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks will have their tete-a-tete, and I think Sasha comes out with a win. And Lacey Evans will probably be a little too aggressive and will lose it in the end. I think Sasha Banks wins the women's title. I think she gets the belt back. Or we see Lacey Evans win it, but I think Sasha Banks will be your winner. So that's not too bad. That's where I'm at with that match. Now let's go into the matches that really look interesting. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's title. I haven't liked what Charlotte Flair is. I don't like the whole idea of using the Royal Rumble stipulation. She wins that match to go to the NXT champion. I get, kind of making the NXT championship important. I get that part. And I don't know. I'm not really caught up into it. Actually, when I'm thinking about some of these other matches, I'm actually surprised at some of the matches they have on. Well, the NXT title was going to be on TakeOver, so they're just going to do they're going to do it with Cole and Gargano, or somebody Ciampa Gargano, right? I guess you can't put it in this pay-per-view, but I think Rhea Ripley wins. I think they just have a good long match together. They should have some chemistry. I can see where they'll probably work out really well. It'll be a tough match. Like, they're going to really work hard. So I can see that there, right? Okay, moving along. Make sure I haven't missed any matches. All right, Boneyard match. Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Great promos across the board. I think Michelle McCool, I guess, she's been mentioned this whole time. She's got to be out there at ringside with AJ. And I don't know if AJ's coming out with Gallows and Anderson, if they're going to be a part of this, so I don't know. I think AJ Styles wins the match. Undertaker's going to come out American Badass style, looks like. That's cool. I liked Undertaker's promo on Monday. I thought it was very good. It was nice to see him not to do the other role. I mean, listen, yeah, you're going to change him out of the dead man kind of thing a little bit, but I still like this match. And it had a good look for him. Like, the way he came out, presented himself, it was good. I actually really liked all that. I liked how they kind of poked fun of the Save the Tigers video, all that stuff, which, by the way, commendable charity, but it's just like, And now we got Tiger King on Netflix, where everybody was talking about Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin and all this other stuff. Like, I hadn't gotten involved in that yet, but I see it on Twitter all the time. It just continues to get brought up. I just haven't watched it yet. I don't know if I want to get caught up in that. Whatever. It's not for me. Okay. So I say AJ Styles beats Undertaker. Because at this point, I mean, Undertaker winning again, it doesn't make much of a difference, but I guess you want to let, AJ Styles already took the dump right now at Super Showdown, so you're going to have him lose again? Like, AJ Styles has been booked so well, he's been booked so strong, I don't see why they would just not keep him where he's at. I just think they're going to keep him where he's at and make AJ be the winner. Okay, I'll leave the championship matches left. Let's see, Last Man Standing, Edge versus Randy Orton. These guys need a lot of time. The fact it's the last man standing match is a very good thing for both of them. I think they've always worked well in those type of matches. And I think Edge wins. But this will be a very interesting match. This is going to be one of the headline main event matches on Monday night. Or it should be on Saturday night. They do the Raw matches they're going to do. If they're going to do Raw and SmackDown separate like that, then I can see, this is a co-main event match. And Edge winning here would be a really great moment. And it'll be like an empty arena match. I just wonder what they're going to hit themselves with. What kind of plunder do they have? And with no crowd, how it's going to turn out. That's going to be an interesting match to see with no crowd. Because I think it's going to hurt without a crowd, especially for that match. Let's see now. Okay, I'll hold off on Brock and Drew. John Cena versus Fiend, Bray and Wyatt. Firefly Funhouse match. They have to get Bray Wyatt over. I mean, he's been beat out so many times and all, and maybe there's a chance to make Bray Wyatt, you can resurrect this character one more time. If you beat him here, then just shove the Fiend and the whole Firefly Funhouse format in the drain and just start him over again. Like, if you're going to you might as well just change his gimmick if you're going to make Bray Wyatt lose again. That's what I think they should do anyway. I just don't want to see all these part-timers go ahead and win. That's the other thing I also don't want to do. So I say Bray Wyatt will win as a Fiend over John Cena. He's been undefeated anyway, right? Except for except for Goldberg, right? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, championship matches left. Let's go with our Universal title, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. So I'm imagining something happens to Roman Reigns where they write him off a storyline and Goldberg gets another opponent. But again, we kept hearing it was Braun Strowman. So I'm still going to say, with the way it's set up, if Roman Reigns is not going to be in the match, Goldberg is retaining the title. Goldberg retains Universal title. They're just going to stick with that. They can bring him back from the taping, do something else with him, who knows what, right? Especially when they got tapings. Raw Women's title, Becky Lynch defends against Shayna Baszler. I want Baszler to win. Becky Lynch holding this belt for all this time. She's had the Raw Women's title for over a year. She had both belts at the end of last year, right? At last year's WrestleMania. Let's just do it, please. Let's get the belt off of Becky. Done with it. Done with her. Done with this whole man gimmick. Let's bring her down a peg. I said it over and over again. Shayna Baszler should be the one that takes it out. This is what Holly Holm was to Ronda Rousey. That's what she needs to be. Let Shayna Baszler be the one that finally finishes up with, and remember, Shayna Baszler for her career, then she's the one that beat Asuka, and she'll be the one that beat Becky Lynch. Strongest women's contender. And then you make Shayna Baszler unstoppable. You showed the prowess of her at Elimination Chamber. Keep that up. I enjoy that storyline a lot. But Becky Lynch needs to be taken out a peg. And finally, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I like where Drew McIntyre has been brought up in this feud. I've actually been enjoying what he's been doing so far, and I think they booked him well enough to get that match, to do it. I mean, Drew McIntyre, this is the guy you can pull the trigger on. And you should. There's no reason why not. They haven't been able to do much more than just kind of talk and talk, but I like the way they're booking Drew McIntyre. And I think right now he's ready to go and be a star like at the level of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Let's do that for him. It's time for that to happen. I believe that. So there we go. We're going to come back Saturday night. I'm probably going to do like post shows on Saturday and Sunday night. That's what I will probably do. I don't see why not. Like, it'll be so much going on. Just to be able to put down 20, 30 minutes on each will probably be good. And that's probably what I will do at the end of WrestleMania after it's all said and done. So plan for that. We'll have post shows Saturday night, Sunday night here on the Wrestling is Real podcast to do that. Anything else comes up, just let me know. But otherwise, we'll leave it there. Of course, remember to tell people to subscribe to the show. If they need something to do, tell them to go and talk to old KOP. Listen to some of my old past shows. I got 524 of them you can listen to now and check back what you want. And I hope all of you will be back here. Enjoy WrestleMania for what it's worth. I think it's be better than expected. And that's, a 6 out of 10. It's like the talk like John Pollock and Wade Ting and Nate Milton. 6 out of 10. That's what I think we're going to get this weekend. So enjoy, and we'll talk to you after WrestleMania Part 1 and Part 2 on another Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
Thank you for listening to the Wrestling is Real podcast, brought to you by KingofAmazon.com. For more information on how to subscribe to the show, how to share the Wrestling is Real podcast to listeners like you, and check out the latest wrestling headlines, go to WrestlingIsReal.com. That's WrestlingIsReal.com.